Our saint of the week is Saint Katharine Drexel. Katharine was born in Philadelphia on November 26, 1858, the second child of a prominent and wealthy banker, Francis Anthony Drexel, and his wife, Hannah Langstroth. Her mother passed away just 5 weeks after Katharine was born. Her father remarried to Emma Bouvier in 1860, and together they had another daughter. The Drexels were financially and spiritually well endowed. They were devout in the practice of their faith, setting an excellent example of true Christian living for their daughters. They not only prayed but practiced what the church calls the spiritual and corporal works of mercy. Katharine grew up seeing her father pray for 30 minutes each evening, and every week her stepmother opened their doors to house and care for the poor. The couple distributed food, clothing, and provided rent assistance to those in need. Katharine never let her family's money adversely affect the way she lived her life and faith. She was an example of a Christian with a proper understanding that the goods of this earth are given for the common good. After watching her stepmother suffer with terminal cancer for 3 straight years, Katharine also learned that no amount of money could shelter them from pain or suffering. From this moment, Katharine's life took a turn. She became imbued with a passionate love for God and neighbor, and she took an avid interest in the material and spiritual well-being of Black and Native Americans. In 1884, while her family was visiting the western states, Katharine saw firsthand the troubling and poor situation of the Native Americans. She desperately wanted to help them. Katharine spent much of her time with Father James O'Connor, a Philadelphia priest. He provided her with wonderful spiritual direction. When her father passed away a year later, he donated part of his $15.5 million estate to a few charities and then left the remainder to be equally split amongst his 3 daughters. As one of their first acts following their father's death, Katharine and her sisters contributed money to assist the St. Francis Mission of South Dakota's Rosebud Reservation. Katharine soon concluded that more was needed to help the Native Americans, and the lacking ingredient was people. In 1887, while touring Europe, the Drexel sisters were given a private audience with Pope Leo XIII. They were seeking missionaries to help with the Indian missions they were financing. The Pope looked to Katharine and suggested she herself become a missionary. After speaking with Father O'Connor, Katharine decided she would give herself and her inheritance to God through service to both Native Americans and African Americans. Katharine began her 6-month postulancy at the Sisters of Mercy Convent in Pittsburgh in 1889. On February 12, 1891, Katharine made her first vows as a religious and dedicated herself to working for the American Indians and African Americans in the western United States. From the age of 33 until her death in 1955, she dedicated her life and her fortune to this work. In 1894, Mother Katharine took part in opening the first mission boarding school called Saint Katharine's Indian School in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Katharine suffered a heart attack at 77 and was forced to retire. She spent the remainder of her life in quiet and intense prayer. She recorded her prayers and aspirations in small notebooks. Mother Katharine died on March 3, 1955, at the age of 96. Saint Katharine was beatified on November 20, 1988, and canonized on October 1, 2000 by Pope John Paul II. Katharine is the patron saint of racial justice and philanthropists. Her feast day is celebrated on March 3rd. And so we say, Saint Katharine Drexel, pray for us.